Hey there and welcome. Have you ever stopped to think about what's really going on in your head when you pick one movie over another? Or when you get so lost in a video game that hours just disappear? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and dive into the hidden psychology behind every single creative choice you make.
Really think about that for a second. Why on earth would we seek out a song that makes us cry, or a book that makes us work hard to understand it? It seems totally backward, right? Well, it turns out there's a fascinating framework that explains all of this, and it all starts with one super simple idea.
Okay, so this right here, this simple equation is the key to, well, everything we're talking about today. Every time you engage with something creative, a song, a movie, even a trip to a museum, your brain is subconsciously running this calculation. It's weighing the benefits, everything you get, against the sacrifices, everything you give. What's left over is the value you feel. So, let's start by breaking down the good stuff, the benefits.
So what are we really looking for when we press play or open a book? It's definitely not just one thing. This whole idea breaks it down into 4 distinct benefits or gets that we're all looking for, whether we realize it or not.
Think of this grid as a kind of map of our motivations. It's built on 2 really simple questions. First, is the purpose intrinsic, meaning you're doing it just for the pure joy of it, or is it extrinsic, more of a means to an end? And the second question, is it self-oriented, so just for you, or is it other-oriented, all about connecting with people? Just by answering those 2 questions, boom, we get our 4 key benefits.
All right, first up is hedonic value, and honestly, this is the big one for a lot of us. It's intrinsic and it's all about you. It's that raw emotional kick you get from a song, even a sad one. It's how a certain movie or book can feel like it's a part of who you are, your extended self, you could say. And sometimes it can go even deeper, right? That almost spiritual connection that makes you look inward.
Next, we've got utilitarian value. We don't often think of creativity as functional, but it absolutely can be. This is when the experience is a means to an end. Think about reading a nonfiction book to learn a new skill, or maybe you're a student who has to go to the museum for a class assignment. It can even be as simple as choosing one movie theater over another because the parking is a breeze. That's a practical benefit, and it adds to the value.
Okay, now we're shifting over to the other-oriented side of the map. This is communicative value, and it's all about how your creative choices connect you to other people. The music you listen to, the shows you binge, they project an image, right? They become amazing conversation starters. They strengthen bonds, like a classic family movie night. And sometimes they can be so powerful that they create entire communities, whole subcultures even.
And finally, the 4th benefit is ethical value. This is when your choice is about contributing to something bigger than yourself. It's that good feeling you get when you support an independent artist you really believe in, or donate to a museum to help preserve our cultural history. It's about engaging with art that you feel is making the world a better place. So there you have it. Those are the benefits. That's the GET side of our equation. But of course, that's only half the story. To get the full picture, we have to flip it around and look at what we give in return. Let's talk about the sacrifices.
Right? So on one side, you've got all those amazing benefits we just talked about, the gets. And on the other, you've got the resources we have to spend to obtain them, the gives. And it is so important to remember that the cost here is way, way bigger than just the price tag.
See, every time you decide to dive into a movie or read a book, you're actually spending 4 different kinds of resources. Yeah, there's the economic one, your money, but you're also spending your time, which is huge. You're spending cognitive resources, that's the brainpower it takes to follow a complex plot. And you're spending emotional resources by getting invested and letting yourself feel the story.
And on top of all that, every choice comes with risk. We've all been there, right? You waste your money on a terrible movie, that's financial risk. A book everyone was raving about just falls flat for you, that's performance risk. A scary movie might mess with your head a little too much, psychological risk. And maybe the worst one, you tell your friends they have to check out your favorite band and they hate it. Ouch, social risk. The crucial point is we're always weighing these potential downsides.
But here's where it gets really, really fascinating. Value isn't just something a product has that you receive, it's actually something that you, the consumer, actively help to create. You're not just a passive audience, you're a co-creator.
And this co-creation happens in about 3 steps. First, there's sense-making. That's you deciding a film is a sci-fi thriller and comparing it to others you've seen. Then you integrate it into your life. That song you love goes right onto your workout playlist, and suddenly it's part of your routine. And finally, you share it. You tell your friends they absolutely have to see it, and together, you build its social meaning. So, with all this constant calculation and co-creation going on in the background, what's the ultimate goal? What's that peak experience where all the noise just fades away and you are completely, utterly absorbed? Well, there's a name for that. It's called flow.
Flow is that magical state of total immersion. You know the feeling. It's when you're so engrossed in a video game or a great book that the distance between you and the experience just disappears. You forget what time it is, you forget where you are just in it.
So how do we get there? Well, flow happens in a very specific zone. Think about it. If a challenge is too low for your skills, you get bored. If it's way too high, you get anxious and stressed. But when a really high challenge is perfectly met by your high skill level, like when you finally master that difficult video game, that is the sweet spot. That's the flow channel.
So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. Think about that value equation, the benefits you're looking for, and the sacrifices you're willing to make. What is that one book, that one album, that one game that makes it all worthwhile and puts you in a state of absolute flow? Because understanding that is the real key to understanding your own creative mind. Thanks for tuning in.